Hi everybody, this is Bonnie from Bonnie's Creative Place, and I am here with our Marches online class. And for this month we are using the Petal Parks and the Sentimental Parks stamp set. We'll be using the bundle for this one, and this one we're just going to use the stamps, but you had the option to order the dies that went with it if you wanted to. You didn't have to, but and if you already owned this, all you had to do was place a $50 order and you would get this kit for free if you wanted it. So for this card, well, for the kit, I want to explain a little bit. You get all the supplies you needed all cut down. And if it needs to be scored, you do that type of stuff. But everything's cut down, and all these kits pertain to this. And then you get a basic tutorial of the sizes and what color inks and stuff I used. Just basic for that, because I do the videos. So, and then you get access to these videos also. So card number 1 is kind of like a little fun fold card. It opens like this. Is that not cool? Now, I did not want to cover up this beautiful designer series paper, so I put my little sentiment thing over here, but you could put it over here if you prefer, if you feel that that is where it needs to be. But I just thought that was so beautiful that I didn't want to cover it up. So let's get started on how I made this cute little fun fold card. So we're going to put this aside. We do need, all the stamps are coming from this but one, and it's these 3 little dots. So let's get started. Let's set this off to the side. We're going to bring in our pieces, and then we need to bring in our ink. We have Balming Blue, Shaded Spruce, and Sierra Sand. Okay, so there is a lot of pieces in this card. You will get the base. This is the base, and then this is a layer that goes on the base, which we can't do yet. First, let's build the card a little bit. And then this is this piece. So here you have the base blue, and then you have this blue that's in the middle with this hinge, okay? So these are the 2 pieces you want to start with, these 2 blues and the little hinge piece. Now this hinge is 1.5 inches by 5, and it's scored at 2 inches. So you're just going to score that down, give it a good little score. So we're going to press it out pretty good there. Then take some liquid glue. I really recommend liquid glue for this, because you don't want to get it any place else. Run a little bead of glue along here and along here on the small side. Then you're going to take this. You can use your good paper if you want to make it perfectly centered, or you can just eyeball it, which is usually what I do. And I'm just going to eyeball the center of where this card would be. I got a little glue running out, but it's going to be okay. Okay, now we're going to take this and we're going to put glue, but for a minute first, good thing no glue went down there. You're going to sit this on here and kind of center it without any glue. Okay, like this. Then you're going to put your finger like right where you do not want any glue. I don't want any glue right here. So I'm going to put my fingers here. I'm going to take my liquid glue and I'm going to get it to come out. And I'm not going to go past my fingers. Wherever my fingers are, that little area that I left there, I don't want to go past that because I don't want any glue sticking out there. Then I'm going to sit this down and kind of eyeball center it again, and then run that across just like that. Well, now we have our little fun fold, right? Well, now let's decorate it up. So now you could take and put this piece right in here. You can use your liquid glue or you can use your adhesive of choice. I'm just going to use this. I seem to like it nice and quick. If it doesn't, I have a love-hate relationship with tape runners. And then I have a different designer series paper this time, but this is, yours will be this one here, right here, and I'm just changing it up. So I'm going to use this piece, and I'm just going to put that down, just like that. And then on this side, I'm going to put this Night of Navy. Put this right here, center it. Then I'm going to take this piece of DSP, and this is the same exact one as your guys's. And I'm going to put this one right here. Then I'm going to close this. I'm going to take this other piece of Night of Navy, and I'm going to put this one on the top. Wow, we have our card almost done. So now we're going to set it aside. Let me put my cap on this. And let's do some stamping. Okay. So here I am going to take and I'm going to stamp this little card here. So we're going to take the leaf and the shaded spruce. Now there's two leaves. You're going to use the one that has like the outline, and then there's one that's a solid. I love this stamp set because it's like almost like a generational stamp where you just stamping to fill it in, and I absolutely love that. So I'm going to stamp this down. Then I'm going to take the other one. I'm going to stamp it up in the shaded spruce. I want it a little lighter, so I'm just going to stamp off over here. And then I'm going to fill it right in. Don't worry if it's not perfectly lined up. It doesn't have to be. Okay. So then we're going to do the same thing with our flowers. We're done with the shaded spruce. Now we're going to get out the Balming Blue. And we are going to take our flowers and we're going to stamp them up. And we're going to line this stem up right with that. Stamp it down. Then we're going to take the more solid fill-in image. We're going to stamp it up. We're going to stamp off the page. Now another thing I've learned, don't stamp in that blue, that green ink that you just stamped. Make sure you stamp in another spot. On my original card, I was doing that. I don't know if it picked up, probably not picking it up on the camera, but I was doing it. I'll show you. I have these little light lines with the Sarah sand, and right here I stamped it over top of that green. It's still wet, so it picked it up on there. I didn't even give it a thought. So don't re-stamp your colors in other ink. Just a little tip. Then we're going to take the Sierra sand, and there's like this little hashtag stamp right here in the, there, get the glare off it. We're going to use that little hashtag. We are going to stamp it up. We're going to stamp off 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to put one right there. It's very light. You might not see it on the camera, but I can see it in person. Then you're going to stamp it again. You're going to stamp 1, 2, 3. And we'll put one right there. And then 1, 2, 3. And one goes right about there. 1, 2, 3. And then one more. 1, 2, 3. And I have one right about here. Just like that. And it just adds a little bit of something to the card. It might not even show up. You can't see it there, but I could see it here. Then we're going to take the 3 little dots that was in the other stamp set that I told you about, and we're going to stamp them up, and we're going to stamp 3 right here, 3 up here and 3 right there. Now I'm putting the word thanks on here. You could put whatever you want on here. And I did end up I brought in Night of Navy for this. So take whatever color, you could use this shaded spruce or whatever. But take the thanks. And right between, oh, I am touching myself with ink everywhere. Right between the A and the N on the word thanks. And you could fit that right between the leaf, the stem that comes down. So if you put your stem right between it, it fits right in there. Isn't that cute? I just loved it. So that's what I did with that. So there's that. And now on this one here, we're done with that one. We're going to bring this one in. And I forgot a stamp out of here. It's called For All the Wonderful Things You Do. And let me get a block quick. There we go. A little big, but we will use it. And I use the Night of Navy. And I'm going to stamp this. Make sure I have it upright. And I stamped right here, For All the Wonderful Things You Do. Right in the middle. And then I'm going to open up the card so you could kind of see what I'm doing for the inside here. Right here. We're just creating. So we're going to get back out the blue. Put this over here. And we're going to get the outline flowers first. We're going to stamp these here. Stamp them again. And then I stamped the other end kind of up there like that. Then I bring back in the solid and I'm going to stamp off. And I'm going to stamp right over top of these the best I can. Stamp them down. Then I'm going to stamp them again. I'm going to stamp off. And I'm going to stamp right over top of these ones the best I can. And there you go. And that is the inside of your card. So now we are going to close this up and let's finish putting this card together. So we're going to add this to the front of the card. Just like so. And then we are going to grab the other one. I think this one's ready to die. I want to use it up. I think I see the red thing coming there. And then again, I don't want to cover up this pretty paper, but I mean, if you did, it's not bad. I mean, this one isn't as bad. The other one you really covered. I think I will put this one over here this time. This one isn't as bad. The last time it really covered up all my pretty flowers. So I didn't want to do that. So you decide. This is with it that way or not. And it's just a fun little fold. I like it. So then we would go ahead and we would add these little loose frosted dots to every one of these cards. I will definitely add these and I will fast forward this part because this will take quite a few minutes to get these on here. Okay. And there is card number 1. I will be back with card number 2.